Justice League of America number 7.3, aka Shadow Thief, written by Tom DeFalco, art by Chad Hardin. So Shadow Thief was a Hawkman villain slash anti-hero, and I wouldn't blame you for forgetting that. So we open up with this woman. Her name is Aviva. She is the Shadow Thief, and she is falling out of a window off of this huge skyscraper, and she's like, yeah, my mom warned me about this when I joined Mossad, but I think I made the right choice. So we see that as she was thrown from the window, there are some like government-looking guys who are the ones who shot her out, and it's just like, oh yeah, she was interfering with our business. So anyway, we came here for the weapons that you were going to provide us, and there's some other dude in the room who's just like, all right, sure. So then we flash back to her fighting against some Thanagarians, and I guess the big thing that needs to be explained is that her whole thing is she is super duper ultra against all alien life. She sees all extraterrestrials as a threat to mankind, and she is here to put a stop to them. So she's fighting against these Thanagarians and is just straight up killing them for the sole purpose of they're here. So they think they can obviously take her. She wipes the floor with them, and she uses her shadow skin suit to move through shadows. That is its ability. She can take any shadow and show up in any other shadow by passing through this shadow realm. So one day, she finished the Thanagarian thing, and she was like, oh, there's an arms deal going on. One of them I tortured to get that information. I'm going to go stop the arms deal. But as she popped out of one of the shadows, she's like, whoa, hold on. The whole world's going nuts. What's going on? Turns out it's the middle of Forever Evil. So at that point, she's like, well, no time to waste. Hops back into shadow, grabs her bag, goes into the shadow realm. We see a whole bunch of monsters are in the shadow realm, and they try to attack her. And she's like, well, they can't do anything to me. I have more talent and skill than they do. So she makes her way out, and she starts peeling off her skin suit, which is actual skin at a certain point. It's like symbiote sort of thing, where it hurts her to take it off, but regardless, she still does. And we see she makes her way to a hotel in Dubai where this arms deal is going down, and this is where we, met at the beginning here. We see that she is going up to a room, and she meets up with a guy who she's apparently familiar with. His name's Ramil, and they say like, oh, Aviva, you're a traitor. You've done horrible things. And she walks in the room just being like, oh yeah, don't worry about that. I was just doing my job. And it's like, you killed a superior officer. How was that you doing your job? And it's like, oh, he wouldn't do what was necessary, so I had to take him out and do it. And it's just like, okay, you're definitely going to be killed. I hope you understand that. And she's like, now hold on. Here's the thing. If I hear that you guys are doing an arm deal with Thanagarians, and like, I can't abide that. That's like, every war requires sacrifice here, but we're not going to go that far. And we see a little bit more of her backstory on how we got to this point. Mind you, this is intercut the whole time of her falling out of this building, and it seems like she's trying to do something. I guess get her skin suit back on, but like, it's so intercut that I can't tell. But regardless, apparently when she came to the U.S., she was hired by Argus. Argus made her do a bunch of spy stuff until one day she went to go pick up this briefcase, and she was like, I wonder what's inside. So she opened it up, and apparently her mother and her brother are both like world-famous biological chemists or something like that. So she brings this vial of goo to them, and it's like, oh, can you check this out? Because I don't trust Argus. So they open it up, and as soon as they open it up, their skin just starts melting off their bones. And she's like, oh God, what have I done? And she sees at the bottom of this briefcase is the shadow suit. So she goes to put it on, thinking it'll protect her from the biological weapon, not knowing that it lets her travel through shadows. So she goes through shadow. She comes out in front of the Argus, like her supervisor's desk. And it's like, hey, I opened up your vial and it melted my mom and brother. What's up? And he's like, you idiot. You're wearing the suit. You're not supposed to wear the suit. That was for us. And she's like, what do you mean us? And it turns out this guy is a Damonite, which if you weren't reading Superman, Grifter, or like 3 other books at the beginning of the New 52, I don't blame you. But they were all in that. And so she's like, oh, you aliens killed my mom and my brother. Therefore, I avenge them by killing you. So at this point, we cut back to in the skyscraper. She's being, told off by, what was his name, Ramil or whatever, saying, hey, I should take you out right here and now. And she's like, hey, you're about to make this arms deal. I should be taking you out. I need to protect not only our home country, but the world. And he's like, okay, fair enough. Anyway, the guys are here to collect. And the guys show up and they're like, hey, I hear you've got some Thanagarian weapons. Who's the chick? And they just blast her out a window. And so we get back to where we opened up with. She takes off a coat she was wearing. She uses the shadow from that to travel through. She shows back up in the hotel room and just immediately kills everybody except Ramil. And Ramil's like, oh my God, you're a monster. You're a horrible killer. And she's like, yeah, but aliens are worse. Don't forget that. So at that point, she takes Ramil's gun and says, now go and tell all the aliens that you've been getting your weapons from to vamoose, or else they're going to have to deal with me, the shadow thief. And so she walks off into a shadowy hallway and disappears. And that's the book. I don't hate it. I want to make that clear. It's not an awful book. It's actually pretty decently well written in terms of the pacing. It gives this action throughout. I'm okay with that. It's just that it's Shadow Thief, who I already am very tenuous on caring about at all. And then the fact that they did the half-hearted attempt of, by the way, guys, this is all happening during Forever Evil. Like, that's the reason we're doing it. See, there's a car being looted over there. This is totally a thing. And I'm like, I get it, but at the same time, the whole thing of Forever Evil, if you remember, is that the moon was pushed in front of the sun. So wouldn't the whole world be in darkness and therefore she is extremely OP right now? But instead, no, it's super sunny and there's not even a shadow she could have used except for her jacket. Like, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just like crazy there. But I feel like this book is so clearly not meant to be a tie-in to Forever Evil and was probably just a missing issue of Hawkman, and they just decided to put it here. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I didn't think it was a great concept for a book, but it was executed okay. So I guess I will give this one I'll give it a 7. It's okay. It's fine. It's an average book, all things considered. It's not awful. It's not great. It's just there.